The John Benet Ramsey movie, plus Richard Pryor on E.T.
The Egypt air crash is turning into a criminal whodunit. CBS News is in Egypt tonight, digging into the background of the cockpit crew. A killer at age 11, he was convicted today as an adult and could get life. The Federal Reserve raises interest rates one more time. And countdown to 2000. Tonight we take you inside the high-tech home of tomorrow.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The National Transportation Safety Board is about to transfer the case of Egypt Air 990 to the FBI to conduct a criminal investigation. Concerns raised by the Egyptian government are holding up the official announcement, at least for now. And there's a new mystery. It is unclear who was actually sitting in the co-pilot's seat in the final moments of the flight. CBS's Bob Orr has late information. Bob?
Well, Dan, sources tell us tonight the transfer of the investigation is on hold for a while because of diplomatic tangles. Egyptian authorities apparently have raised concerns about putting the FBI in charge of what then would become a criminal investigation. Possible evidence of a crime was captured on the jet's voice recorder. A cryptic comment from one of the pilots made just before the jet plunged into a fatal dive. Sources say a voice believed to be that of the co-pilot can be heard on the tape saying a prayer. Words to the effect of, "I have made my decision. I put my fate in God's hands." But interpreters can't agree on what that means. Some see it as benign, part of a daily prayer routine. Others suggest it was a deliberate prelude to the crash that followed. Officials believe the co-pilot was alone in the cockpit at the time, but there's yet another mystery. Investigators are not entirely certain who was in the co-pilot's seat. Egypt Air says it should have been Adel Anwar, but sources say those who've reviewed the tape believe they hear the voice of Gamil El Batouti, the co-pilot scheduled to fly the second half of the New York to Cairo trip. Whoever said the prayer, the timing is troublesome. Just afterwards, the jet began a steep, high-speed dive. The recording then picked up what sounds like the captain returning to the cockpit. He urges the co-pilot to pull with me, a command directed at trying to save the plane. Instead, the flight data recorder suggests the pilots may have worked against each other. The elevators on the tail, used to move the jet up and down, split in opposite directions, perhaps a subtle sign of a cockpit struggle. We are getting late word tonight that the transfer may be delayed as late as Friday to satisfy all concerned, but all sources tell us they still expect the transfer to take place. Also, it's important to remember investigators have not reached any final conclusions, but they strongly suspect the crash was caused by the deliberate actions of one of the co-pilots. Administration officials say it's most likely he acted alone, because to this point there is no evidence pointing to a broader plot, and no evidence so far of terrorism. Dan?
Bob Orr. An editor's note for accuracy and to guard against conclusion jumping. It should be emphasized no criminal behavior has been proven and that the basis for suspecting criminal involvement is so far, by any objective analysis, still thin. And as federal investigators are focusing on the background of one of the co-pilots on board, so is CBS News. CBS's Mark Phillips has been tracking this part of the story.
In Cairo today, the family of one of the Egypt Air co-pilots who was aboard Flight 990 had to interrupt its mourning to defend his honor. Friends called with the news that Gamil El Batouti was widely reported as having said the prayer in the cockpit before the plane's catastrophic dive. Batouti's wife, Aya, said having her husband accused was like losing him again.
I am more upset today than on the day he died. It's as if he died today.
Gamil El Batouti sat atop a proud family tree in this household, and his relatives say had everything to live for. His 10-year-old daughter is seriously ill, and he had to take her to California every few months for treatment. Not the sort of man, they say, who would contemplate sabotage or suicide.
There's one thing we know for sure, with the history of this man, that no way ever he will do such a thing.
Yet another Egypt Air pilot who had recently seen Batouti said his mood had changed lately, and that Batouti had handed over a small amount of money to be given to his family if, quote, anything happened.
His mood since 30 days ago was different, sad. I don't know why. I keep asking him, what's wrong?
We may never know what, if anything, was wrong with Gamil El Batouti, but his family know that not only is he gone, but now his memory has been tarnished as well. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
In a trial that tested the limits of criminal justice in America, a 13-year-old boy was convicted today of second-degree murder for a shooting that took place when he was 11. Under Michigan law, he could get life in prison. CBS's Jeffrey Kaufman is covering the case.
Nathaniel Abraham is too young to drink, drive, or vote, but prosecutors argued he's old enough to face murder charges as an adult. Now he's the youngest person in modern times to be convicted of murder.
Nathaniel has no idea what just happened.
Raise your right hand, please. Right hand.
There was little question that Nathaniel fired the gun that killed 18-year-old Ronnie Green 2 years ago. The gunman was 11 at the time and the first child charged with murder under Michigan's tough law. Prosecutors say he bragged about going to shoot someone, but his lawyers argued he was just playing with the gun.
This law subjects all children, regardless of their age, to a criminal trial as an adult, which is incomprehensible in a civilized society.
The only interview Nathaniel has given was to Ed Bradley of 60 Minutes.
Rights. You know what rights are?
Not particularly.
If you had one wish, Nate, what would it be?
Get out of here.
And go home.
Yeah.
Nathaniel never spoke to the jury, but they felt he knew what he was doing.
The gun just doesn't raise itself up automatically. He had to point the gun and he had to physically pull the trigger.
For me, this was hard to consider that these shots would be fired intentionally to take someone's life.
The verdict left the mothers of both the young gunman and the victim in tears.
It's sad on both parts. You know, I lost my son. My son is dead, but she blessed in one way. She can see her child again, and I can't see mine no more.
The defense insists this case isn't over. They say there are strong grounds for an appeal. The prosecution insists they're not trying to lock Nathaniel away for life. They say they'll ask for a sentence that allows him to serve time in a juvenile facility and potentially be released when he's 21. Jeffrey Kaufman, CBS News, Pontiac, Michigan.
In another Michigan court today, a 14-year-old pleaded guilty to juvenile charges in connection with an alleged plot to carry out a massacre at his school. Justin Schnepp, shown out of focus here to protect his privacy and standing as a juvenile, had been charged as an adult with conspiracy to commit murder, but his lawyers reached a plea bargain to avoid a trial. 2 other boys are still facing charges. The teens were arrested after classmates said they heard them talking about a Columbine-style massacre. Well, it was an all-too-familiar made-for-TV confrontation in Decatur, Illinois today, where the Reverend Jesse Jackson and several others were arrested as they stepped onto the grounds of a high school to protest the expulsion of 6 black students. Tonight, Jackson was released from jail on his own recognizance. Earlier, talks broke down between Jackson and the school board. The board offered to compromise, but still wants the students expelled for 1 year for fighting at a football game. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the Federal Reserve Chairman taps the brakes on the U.S. economy. Read that, higher interest rates. On the CBS Health Watch, a man who's out for blood, yours. And countdown to 2000, you'll meet the high-tech shop of the future.
Inventory control Enterprise? You rented our car from Enterprise?
Yeah.
Why Enterprise?
Because they pick us up.
Free.
A free pickup? Wow. They ought to be #1.
They are #1.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. Ask your doctor about Viagra. It's time. Time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with one daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
On CBS's Worldwide Market Watch, the cost of borrowing money is going up. The Federal Reserve today raised two key interest rates 1/4 point to try to keep inflation in check. The Fed indicated this will be the last rate hike for a while. Wall Street liked that. The Dow closed up 171 points. The Nasdaq gained 73 and is now 50% up for the year. CBS's Anthony Mason has more about the Fed's action and the impact.
What the Fed chairman giveth, he has now taken away. Mr. Greenspan's third rate hike since June erases the 3 cuts he made last year to counter the effects of the Asian economic crisis.
The Fed's biggest concern is that we're basically running out of warm bodies.
With unemployment at a 29-year low, the Fed fears companies will have to pay more to attract workers, reigniting inflation.
They're worried that if there's no one left to hire, at some point you do get wages really starting to push up more, and that's why they kind of tugged on the reins today.
In fact, economists say outside of oil and food costs, inflation has actually declined this year. And higher mortgage rates have already cooled the housing market, easing Fed concerns about an overheating economy. That's why many on Wall Street believe the Fed is finished with rate hikes, at least for a while.
With the Fed unlikely to move higher from this point forward, I think people are feeling good about that.
And Bernard McSherry says that helped send stock prices soaring.
We've closed right here at the session highs. I'm looking at the tape right now, up about 171 points.
The Nasdaq hit another record high, too. It's 11th in 13 days. But the bad news, major banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank America have already raised their prime rates 1/4 point, which will, of course, raise the cost of borrowing money on car loans, credit cards, and home mortgages. Dan?
Anthony, what is all this feared Y2K computer glitch business going to have on the Fed?
The Fed actually is taking Y2K very seriously because of this. They think a lot of companies will hoard inventories just in case of a problem, that people may take out extra cash just in case of a problem, and that this will skew the economic numbers for a few months. So a lot of people believe the Fed won't touch anything probably until March of next year.
Anthony Mason, thanks. Other money matters tonight. Banks have won the latest round in the battle over ATM fees. A federal judge has blocked, at least for now, bans in California on ATM surcharges. These are fees banks charge when non-customers use an automated teller machine. The judge said the bans on these fees are likely to be found unconstitutional. And a tender moment in Washington today as the Treasury showed off the redesigned $5 and $10 bills with new and bigger portraits of Abraham Lincoln and Alexander Hamilton. They go into circulation next year. And just like the new 20s, they're supposed to be more difficult to counterfeit. Next on the CBS Evening News Health Watch, one man's drive to solve the U.S. blood shortage a pint at a time.
This year, it's kind of hard for me to talk with this in.
This delicious green bean casserole is not the only way to enjoy French's French fried onions. Even standard spuds become a savory side dish.
At the head of his cooking class.
Smile, you've got French's.
It's revolutionary, state-of-the-art. It's the wind tunnel by Hoover that's self-propelled, so it almost works by itself. Tests show wind tunnel picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright.
Hoover, nobody
And you can get a wind tunnel that's self-propelled.
does it like you.
Wind tunnel by Hoover.
Suffering from nasal congestion? A new kind of relief is about to be revealed. Introducing Natravent, the only preservative-free nasal spray. For long-lasting relief, new Natravent. No preservatives, fast relief.
All right, everyone, listen to stick up.
Please. A 5-position watering nozzle from Rainbird, which I found online and at thousands of retail stores. Now, it may be perfect for the garden, but a bank heist? I don't think so.
StoreRunner.com has shopping experts in every conceivable field, like Tracy Carrero in garden supplies.
Oh, my mother has a pair of those. Cut and hold rose pruners from Smith & Hawken, also available online and at 44 retail stores.
StoreRunner.com. Log on. Let's shop.
This Social Security measure.
In 1935, FDR helped millions of Americans retire with less worry. Today, we're picking up where he left off. Introducing the Retirement Income Manager from T. Rowe Price, a unique advisory service that helps you determine how much of your retirement savings you can comfortably spend each month for the rest of your life. The Retirement Income Manager. We believe FDR would have approved. Call 1-800-341-0040 for more information.
On the CBS Health Watch, two makers of purported muscle-building nutrition supplements containing the ingredient androgen agreed to a settlement today with federal regulators. These widely sold androgen products must now warn side effects may cause infertility in men and more body and facial hair on women. Also, androgen supplements containing ephedra, caffeine, and other stimulants may cause heart attacks and strokes. The American Red Cross and more than 100 of the nation's historically black colleges and universities joined forces today for a blood drive. Nationwide, only 5% of all eligible Americans donate blood, and it shows in a major blood shortage. CBS's Maureen Maher reports tonight on one individual who gives 100% to scare up blood donors among the younger generation.
And if you don't give with the needle, then I'm gonna get it the hard way.
Dressed to kill, Sylvan Miori is actually trying to save lives. He's on a one-man crusade to find a solution to the nation's shrinking blood supply.
I know there's a blood shortage, and so I feel like that we need to get a new generation of blood donors. And there's no one better than these young kids that are 17 years old. This your first time to give?
Miori, a Texas philanthropist, has founded an organization that gives school supplies to students who hold blood drives. And the Red Cross knows just how important new donors are.
The blood supply is very fragile. We are hours away, one day away from a blood crisis every day.
And the reason for that? Medical advances, tougher donor screening, and an aging population of both those who give and those who need blood, forcing organizations to look for new ways to attract donors.
Give blood and save a neighbor.
The shortage has now forced New York's blood center to buy advertising time.
In this country, only about 5% of the population eligible to give blood actually donates.
In Texas, Miori's innovative efforts have brought in 23,000 pints of blood. Without more volunteers like him, next year, demand could outstrip supply.
You can get the funding, you can get the school support, but you have to have the Sylvan Mioris of the world to come in with their heart and do the program. Without that, it doesn't work.
I stress to the kids that it doesn't make any difference whether we're white, black, brown, or yellow, or red. Our blood is all red. Got a little blood on those.
For this grandfather of 5, it is about teaching a lesson to all generations that giving blood is a matter of life and death. Maureen Maher, CBS News, Port Lavaca, Texas.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, a train wreck designed to make travel safer.
As you might expect, Keller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Keller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up, or in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
We will never, ever smoke up this house again. We are quitting with the patch.
Nicoderm CQ.
With the steps.
There's a lot to be said for steps.
Nicoderm CQ has 3 steps, so you can step down your dose gradually, the way doctors and pharmacists prefer.
Was this a great idea or what?
Commit to quit for the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout with Nicoderm CQ.
Oh, Mom, it's great. My first apartment. You should see it. It's huge.
When you've got things to talk about,
it's a good idea to dial 10-10-321 first.
And I had a great view of the river.
With 10-10-321, you get 50% off calls over 10 minutes. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night, and no monthly fees. And at 50% off, you can share every last detail.
And I even have a garden.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
I hate this cold, dry weather. Makes my scalp itch worse.
That's scalp stress itch.
When I blow dry, my scalp itch gets intense.
That's scalp stress itch.
Days like this. What an itch.
That's scalp stress itch. And this is what stops it. Scalpicin. Clean, unscented, medicated. To stop scalp stress itch.
Fast.
Scalpicin stops scalp stress itch.
President Clinton today sought to comfort earthquake victims in Turkey, promising more U.S. aid for rebuilding. The president toured a camp for thousands of homeless survivors of the devastating earthquake in August. 17,000 people died in that quake. In another part of Turkey, they've given up hope for survivors of last Friday's quake. The official death toll there stands at 549, but many more may be buried in the rubble. Hurricane Lenny is gaining strength in the Caribbean, heading for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Top winds are now up to 115 miles an hour, and it's dropping torrential rain of up to 15 inches. A new test for the U.S. government's crash test dummies today in Colorado. The National Transportation Safety Board sent a railroad passenger car slamming into a brick wall at 35 miles an hour to gauge the effect on humans. Results will be used to draw up new standards for U.S. railroad safety. The Federal Aviation Administration said today all major U.S. air carriers, including the top 10 airlines, are A-OK for Y2K. However, the FAA said 200 smaller passenger and cargo carriers could experience Y2K bug glitches that could result in delays and cancellations, but not, the FAA says, affect in-flight safety. Clogged highway arteries are a growing national problem. According to a Texas A&M University study out today, Indianapolis had the worst growth in traffic congestion, up 225% since 1992, to about 52 hours a year stuck in traffic for the average motorist. All told, the average driver spent 82 hours a year bumper to bumper in Los Angeles, 76 hours in Washington, D.C., 69 hours in Seattle, with Atlanta and Boston close behind. Up next, CBS's Countdown to 2000, the home of the future, much more than just a place to hang your hat.
Two large double cheese.
It's about time. I'm starving.
Whoa, that can't be cable.
It's DirecTV. You get all your favorite cable channels.
Kung Pao.
And it's the only service that gives you access to every pro and college sports subscription.
Donuts.
Plus now, you get 2 free months of 32 premium movie channels, including 7 HBO, 4 Stars, and 5 Showtime channels, with no long-term commitments.
DirecTV. What are you looking at?
Okay, wait the remote.
Good morning, Mr. Schwab.
Morning.
Introducing Velocity from Schwab, the new incredibly powerful online trading software system. With the power to place multiple orders at one time, it's fast and smart. And, if you'll pardon the expression, cool.
Yoo-hoo! Ready to go shopping? Ready for a better way to get my fiber.
You'll have to concentrate.
Huh?
Concentrate on these new Phillips fiber caps.
New Phillips fiber caps don't contain sweeteners like most powders. You can't get a more concentrated fiber, so they're just as effective as Metamucil.
And there's no sweeteners.
How do you know all that?
I use my concentration.
New Phillips fiber caps, effective fiber therapy without the powder.
I am the scum buster. I make scum and mildew problems disappear. I make grease and dirt problems go away. If you got a messy situation, believe me, no one's gotta know. I'm the scum buster. I am built by Black & Decker.
I need strong arthritis relief. I want soft skin.
Now I get both.
Introducing new Arthricare Hand and Body Lotion. Fast relief of minor arthritis pain plus special skin softeners. Arthricare Lotion. Pain relief plus moisturizers.
All in one.
The last 1,000 years produced dramatic changes in the human home. Flush toilets, electric lights, running water, and air conditioning among them. Now, with just 45 days until the year 2000, we're looking ahead to what could be the ultimate dream home of tomorrow. From Japan, CBS's Barry Peterson reports on our countdown to 2000.
The great thing about life in the 21st century is how much they say it'll be so much easier when you get home. Well, here in Tokyo, the folks at Panasonic have built a mock-up of what they call the House of the Future. Nobody home? No problem. You leave a video message.
Darling, I'm sorry. I left the keys at the office again. Can you please open the front door for me?
Now, she might get it on her fancy cell phone, which by then will be playing video messages. And she'll be able to open the door remotely. Thank goodness it's not locked. Forget email. In the future, it's going to be V-mail, video mail. And it starts when you do a fingerprint analysis to let the computer know you're home. Sensors then note your presence, turn on the lights, and set each room's temperature to your preference. Or fire up the 500-channel, 50-inch plasma TV, which can store 100 hours of TV programs in the main home computer. Tucked away in a closet somewhere, the brains of the house. This is a piece of glass that clears up with a small electric charge. Here you have the high-speed data link that brings the outside world in. This controls TV, satellite, that sort of thing. This sends the information around the house, information that comes from this little fellow who has all the software, all your favorite movies stored, everything that makes the house of the future run smoothly. So this is one of my favorite rooms because this is the kitchen of the future. And this is Tamako Mizawa, who's going to help me organize dinner. What do I do first?
You access to the Cook Information Center.
You choose your meal and, you guessed it, the computer uses the internet to message the online grocer who delivers the ingredients. I still have to cook it. What do I do?
Okay, it's very easy because this system automatically sends the cooking data to the network microwave oven.
So the instructions are at the microwave, so it already knows how to cook everything.
Yes.
So I just take my just delivered groceries, put them in there, and push the button, and I'm a super chef. Thank you to the computer.
This is our toilet system.
Even the toilet is wired to weigh you, measure body fat, and analyze urine. Part of a home high-tech medical system that lets you check your vital signs like temperature or heart rate. Send it off to a clinic, and with a tiny video camera, the doctor can make a house call by computer. If I have a problem like with my eye, I can go like that.
You can go like that, yes.
Or I can do, oh. What's here is neither far-fetched nor far away. Most of these things will be on the market in a few years. A brave new world in our homes, no farther away than our fingertips. I'm Barry Peterson for Countdown to 2000.
And that'll be part of our world in the next century. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Don't forget CBS's new early show tomorrow morning. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
The #1 newscast at 6 o'clock for the people of Portland.